Okay, so now that you said that, you had relations, with George Washington, I mean, related to, I mean, so how do you feel like that could help you, but also hinder you in this race?
Well, the only one thing that hinders me is fear of the unknown. Without asking questions, without like interviewing me or asking me, figuring out what is it really real, you let fear set in, and that would be the only downfall about that. The positives is that a black man is coming out saying that these white people are my kinfolk, this is my background, and I don't care about the past and all that, I don't care about the present. How can we come together? The only way that we can bring America together is in a story of an individual, an American citizen who has something like what I'm going through, historical ties to George Washington, has proven for almost a decade that black people and white people are the same just by reaching out and saying, hey, I'm only here talking about now and
Mhm.
believing in our most high God. And you have all those factors into play. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So,
Mhm.
and like I said, the American people just need to hear a story and see that you are a true outsider. People don't want Joe Biden. I mean, the only reason they want to choose him because, and after what he said about you're not black if you don't vote for him,
For me,
it
yeah.
was a slap in the face to all African Americans. So I think that the American people need somebody middle down the road, universal, and still has God in his heart and believe in this country and believe in freedom for Americans and for people around the world.
First plan of action if elected.
Well, I went over that a lot of time. I mean, the first most dire issue is come up with a systemic plan for this COVID-19 crisis. Um, the the defense, the production authorization thing that the president has, we'll put that in full display to make sure we get the PPEs, testing, make sure it's accurate testing and accountability of how many people are affected and educate the people. This virus doesn't care about your color, your ethnicity, what color or what part are you from. It cares to kill you. And I think the American people are waiting for someone like that to come up and step up and say that. I mean, Joe was kind of like saying it all sleepy and dry. No
Yeah.
disrespect. This is a race, so I'm just calling it how I see it. But we need somebody that just has spurred the American spirit, and that would be the first important thing for us as a nation to do.
Okay.
Now, if you talk about the first two or three things, I'm just going to answer how you want me to answer. So, just saying that's just the first thing. But I do have top five things I would do.
All right. What's your top five?
Okay, well, no, we already have the virus. So you got healthcare. The reason why the Republicans are good to healthcare because they know down the road that they're gonna have to raise taxes on the ultra rich in order to pay for the increases on pricing when it comes to healthcare because you got greed inside the medical systems. And I've always said that why in God's name, if it's not a right for us to have affordable healthcare, then why is it right for them to make money off of us if we live or die? You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I don't like that problem. So we got to systematically change our healthcare system. My plan is why do the government have so many different healthcare plans? Why not tie it all into one? Save a bunch of money, especially tying in Medicare and Medicaid. You save at least about, I'm guesstimating, about almost $600 billion a year. Put that
Yeah.
money towards lowering down the debt, or put it into community banks to give African Americans a way to lift ourselves up. But the main thing is give affordable health care. People don't want free health care. Okay, we want affordable health care. Something like $40, $50, or like a family of five, $150. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basic stuff, because everybody's not going to need heart surgery. Everybody's not going to need diabetes medicine. But if everybody puts in the pot like everything else, like Social Security and everything else, and we pitch in and not let greed and divisions of race cloud our judgment for helping everybody, I think we could do a better job. So healthcare is number two. Number two, with healthcare, I've done some studies about marijuana. Marijuana does help the information of you getting the COVID. If you smoke weed, you won't get the COVID. It will come in and come out just like oil and water. It won't mix.
Mhm.
Number three, the
Now, is
interference with Russia.
scientifically proven? That's proven. Is that proven? That's a big statement
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, it was on Forbes magazine. Forbes.com that came out with a study about a few months ago, and I've done
Mhm.
extensive research about it. And it's not the THCs, it's the CB, whatever you call it, the CB oil or whatever,
Yeah.
the other chemical agent inside it. But if you got THCs in it, I don't mind for you doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been proven. I'm not gonna say I don't say anything unless it's been proven factual. I rarely say anything that's like make believe. So was that number two? Yeah. So
That
number
was
three, we got to put drug. That was number, or the weed was number three. Well, that's part of the healthcare thing. So that was just part of health. So third thing is to really find those who are accountable about the interference with Russians and the Chinese. Okay, because I heard the Chinese have infiltrated Black Lives Matter and trying to influence the election. Check
yeah.
that out. Yeah. I looked at the tax records and said something about some Chinese, the Chinese something. I ain't got my paperwork with me, but the Chinese blank association. There's an office in San Francisco and an office in Boston. They both have the same name, but two different tax ID codes.
Okay.
So there's been a systematic problem on trying to undermine our election, trying to undermine African Americans and white people to try to come together, and just because of what they're trying to hide, what this president's been doing to the country.
Okay. Now I think you kind of tricked yourself because you was on 4. So this would be your
okay.
Yeah.
Fifth one. Okay, well, I'm okay. Like I said, okay, so we're gonna put the marijuana as the third one. Okay, that's fine. Because that's overall a new way of trying to bring tax revenue and in homelessness, give people jobs, and also like the marijuana do amazing things. Look at Colorado and Nevada, and crime went down and everything like that. So that's pretty good. Number fifth thing. This is my last thing. I will do the largest part of non-violent drug offenders. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. Most of them are African Americans anyway. Will be freed unless and within my first month in office. I'm not going to wait 100 days to. I mean, it's going to take time because you got to
get
facilitate
people
from the prosecutor's office and stuff like that. Right, get them up out of jail and put them up for job training programs. Wipe their record clean. So when they get, interviewed, that stigmatization won't stay on them. So that would be my top 5 things I would do.
A lot of not to cut you off, but a lot of people with felonies are left out here with a lot of uncertainty with what they like. Because if they say they got to pay child support, how do I pay child support if I can't get a job? If my license suspended, how can I be able to even get to work? So a lot of that is on the table. I feel election as well. So, what do you feel like you could do to also help people with felonies with non drug offenses? Let's talk about like all right, domestic violence offenses. Let's what you do to ensure that those men child support, how you can get a felony, I mean driver's license suspended for that. How can we ensure that those men are protected so we can have less crime on the street, where they feel like I don't have to be a drug dealer because job's not hiring me, so I got to go back to the streets. What do you feel like you can do as a president to
I know this. I know this very well, but this is the reason why we need someone of the people to relate to them in a way more so than someone like Joe Biden or Donald Trump, who's probably seen it on TV but never lived it. Well, I've never been on child support or like that, but I've seen my family members and friends who've been through it, and they were good dads. And it just seemed like the system has always been set up for the black man to fall. You know what I'm saying? They prop our black women and children in welfare. All right, get them into stigmatization, get their kids, and make the education system weakened enough so we won't educate our African American kids the right way, or any kid, matter of fact. There got to be some fairness to the system. If a woman, let's just give an example. In any relationship, both people are responsible. Okay.
Yeah.
And in most cases, I'm going to have to say, in most cases, women put guys on child support because they're mad at them because of the relationship, and they want to get back at them. Now there are some guys who deserve that because they're deadbeats. I understand that, but most majority should be painted that way. So I would set up a some kind of form or I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but someone that can, Cesar, someone that can observe a way that we can make the system fair. We have to have a social worker that could be in the midst of the relationship, decide, find out exactly who's really at fault, what is best for the child. If it's the mother at fault because she's doing this on the spite of the father needs to be institutionalized inside the home with the child to make sure the child is stable. So the decision should be taken out of the parents, and I believe a social worker there that can help balance out and find out who was really at fault, and is there a way that fathers, especially if they probably had some crime, especially with um, a felony of robbing a store or something like that. Everybody's made mistakes, and so I will come up with a plan called the second chance plan. That if you go through these certain procedures, there will be something through the Justice Department that will be permanently on your record as you're going through this procedure, where that even though they may see your record, but under the statute of the United States government, we will back your attempt to get back into work service, even if you're under the statute of trying to pay for your kids' child support or try to get to work or something like that. But there are ways, and if there is a couple of things that I might not know of, I promise you, I'm gonna have the right people to in my left and right ear to explain to me what we need more to do, and I'll do it without delay. But overall, that would be the basis. But just give people opportunity, give people a second chance. I think people right now, after what we're going through, God just showed up and like, okay, start over. Here's a second chance. I bet you most of the American people will take it. They
No,
will.
I agree. I agree. God made everybody kind
But
of.
when it comes to yeah,
Floor is
right.
yours.
So when it comes to, like I said, felonies and stuff, I want to give people a second chance. If if you ain't killed nobody, all right. Now you're fighting and whatever, something happens, all right. But when you kill something, well, I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. But minor
Yeah.
offenses like strong arm robbery, um, all that stuff, you know, that's not worth it.
Okay. So
Learn your lesson, pay your dues, but when you get out and pay your debt to society, your record should be clear.
yeah, you shouldn't be judged by your record. That's like a form of like discrimination. Like I'm a reform man. I'm
Right,
Che.
right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Now, what are you planning to do for the black community in regards of police brutality?
Well, I'm gonna hold officers to the highest standard possible. When you sign up to be a police officer and work for the public's interest, the public good, you're supposed to be held to a higher standard. You're supposed to
Hmm.
show the citizens respect to the highest degree, regardless of how you personally feel. And if you got a personal negative feeling about minorities, then this is not the job for you. So the very first thing we got to do is retraining of our police officers. Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Sorry. Fire any police officer that have any questionable motions on African Americans at any time. If there's anything with murder or some kind of death, they will be prosecuted.
Hmm.
Period. Second thing we're going to do for the new officers and everything, and the old officers, we're going to have retraining programs to retrain police on respecting, no matter what color you are, respecting the public because you serve them. We don't serve you. And we got to do psycho evaluation to make sure that they're not, crazy or they was, mistreated when they were in school and they want to have a power trip
Yeah.
um, or any of that stuff. But retraining on showing sensitivity to police, yeah, I don't believe in defunding the police because let me explain something. Are you going to get up in the middle of the night, get your weapon, hear 50 gunshots in the middle of your door, and someone play police? Those men and women are the bravest souls on this planet. They deserve as much respect as we do, but at the same time, they are the public servants. They must show the initiative first, and we'll be right there with them. But don't African Americans and every one of us experience this. Every time we get in the car, we see a cop, knowing we ain't doing nothing wrong, we get nervous, we get scared. Oh, they gonna pull us over. Oh, don't look over there. Don't look over there. How are we free living like that? And I
Right.
might end that. No kid should be born. No African American kid or minority kid should be born in this country and go through the systematic generational fear of police. and to change the name of police to peace officers. So, I mean, like I said, if you're going to have some reluctance, some resistance, and especially in areas around the country where police officers want to take uh, anonymity on their own
Power
and
trip.
just, run the law how they see fit. So I would federalize citizens to take back their own communities until we get some new officers out there. But I would do whatever it takes
Okay.
because something got to change. If it don't change, we're being hunted down like game,
Oh,
like game. This game is going to come back, but with love and determination and with courage. But defend yourself.
okay. Now, we hit the black community topics, but I wanted to speak more of a broader issue going on um just with a just with women right now. Now, a lot of women feel like
Okay.
they aren't being heard. They feel like, the system don't listen to them. Feel like, they just feel a double minority, especially black women. They are already black and they're women, so they feel like the system already against them. So, what do you feel you can do to help ensure um women are treated fairly in the workplace and they can get the same level as a man can get. They can get those spots of not only just being a supervisor but being a boss. What are some ideas that you have to help women balance out the playing field equally?
Well, the first thing is we got to get. It's really about education. Have been subjected to a form of not being treated as humans, just like African Americans, besides the minus the chains and the whips and the rapes. But I mean, we're still. I mean, I couldn't believe our country back in the day. A woman couldn't drive. A woman couldn't vote. A woman couldn't speak her opinion. And here's the thing: if a woman can carry a baby 9 months and push it out, I think she can do anything as much as a man can do. I know a man can't do that. Can you do that?
No, not at all.
Can you have a baby?
No.
Do you want to have a baby? So let these women be. Come on, man. It's simple. It's simple. Everything that's so complicated, I put it in such simple terms.
Right.
There are the strong. We're physically strong, but there are the backbone of human society. We need them. We need their like I said, in any relationship is a team. Even though as a man we take 51% of the load. Just
Right.
saying, 51, 55, whatever man you are, whatever. But overall, I believe women should be equally included in every aspect of our society. And as long as it's a team effort, I don't see the problem. So I will do. I don't. What plans I have? It's all about just talking it out, common sense, showing that whatever they were talking about, that were opposite of what we're talking about now, is bullcrap. You put a mirror on it, they'll walk off. But we don't have nobody that can put that mirror out there. When you have Joe Biden's question about his antics with women, and well, of course Trump, right? So I don't know
Yeah.
why those parties, if they really care about women, why would they put those two individuals there? So it's just mind-boggling to me, man. It's mind-boggling. So that's why I said, if American people want a real revolution,
I
women
saw
want a real revolution, write my name in.
I've got like so many sexually assault cases that's pending right now, and women still bagging him up. It's sick. I just wanted to say that as a personal comment. Like, I just don't understand that. But what are your thoughts on pro
Well,
life?
then um, well, here's the Republican side of me, and then you'll hear the Democratic side of me, and then you'll hear my side overall. I'm not for abortions. I'm really not, but I'm not here to tell women what to do about their bodies. That's not my business. Again, can we have babies? Can we understand exactly what women go through?
Right.
Sometimes, the nature calls and things happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame her. And Jesus said, don't judge thee, or ye shall be judged in the same light. So
Mhm.
um, we should give more women more better education during, when they're growing up in schools and everything. So it will prepare them just in case if something like that happened, if relationships, if, like I said, you can't control because you know how guys are, or vice versa. So, um, and I know people say we can't use public money for abortions. But the stigmatization saying we have more like 50,000 abortions a year or whatever it is, um, because the father's down in the home. Because we have to look at each other how we
Mm-hmm.
do things. I mean, I only have one child, and I haven't been out there fishing and all like that. You know how we used to do growing up. We got this girl and that girl, and oops, I got her pregnant. Oops, I got her pregnant. But we're not there. What do you think they're gonna do? What choice do you think support they're gonna have?
Dang.
You know. So,
Okay.
and you got to think about it, even those. The mothers kill their own babies because of something, instinct. You know. Um, so I'm not for abortion, but I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. And I think the government should stay the hell out of it. Simple as
Uh,
that.
if it was up to you, it would still be abortion clinics as an option for women to go, even though you personally don't agree
Yeah,
with it.
well, I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things I don't agree on, but who am I? You know what I'm saying? My personal beliefs does not affect my decision making. My decision making affects what the people's needs are, need to be met. So that's what I think.
Okay, so now that we off that subject, I wanted to switch. What are your thoughts on the environment, and what do you plan on, helping the environment, preserving it, and keeping it up?
Well, number one, you have people uh, who own oil, natural gas, and all those things that have kept this fossil fuel economy going. And I don't know why they never thought of trying to invest the money they made off oil anyway to try to find new renewable sources of energy,
Yeah,
new technology to try to get all the carbon out the air, which there is a scientist in Japan who created this machine that can suck up the air, suck up all the carbons out of the air. And then you have these like these crystal black diamonds almost. But we need government and the people, the will of the people, to be inclusive and trying to come up with that. But they should have came up with an idea like that, but it's greed is blinding them. And at the end of the day, our weather is getting warmer. I mean, just not but last week it was California. I mean, not California, but Colorado was on fire on one part of the state. The other part of the state was snowing. We've never seen them like. We've never seen the sky of the West Coast in orange glow. We've
yeah,
never seen this is apocalyptic. I can't say certain words, but it's hell on earth. And these people that are in power and who has all the money and all control, not thinking about the responsibility of trying to keep the future generations of Americans and the world to go. Because without the food supply, because weather does affect food supplies. You got the rising of the tides, you got the food shortages, you're gonna have wars. We're gonna have to make a strong left turn
okay,
on our environmental. Now, the whole new Green Deal, you can't. Okay, here's the thing. My idea, my plan to start this big change, which I don't have a name of it yet, but I'll just call it the big change. How about that? This big change will consist because we already have to be sitting at home because of COVID. That's our excuse. So we sit at home because of COVID. Then I will unite our governments, other governments around the world, especially our allies, even our enemies, even China, and said, let's come together to defeat this virus. And so we shut down all production, and then we try in that midst while we shut down and pay our citizens around each nation money so they can survive and whatnot. Because it'll take almost a year and a half until we can have vaccines and
so
something
are you
ready and available.
saying that you will shut, America down and compensate the people?
Well, we're not. Yeah. I'm not all of America. You used to have some restaurants open. You used to have some other areas open, but where it's like full contact, where you have people inside, stuff like that. Because we already went through it. And we've learned some of the mistakes that no, not mistakes. They did it on purpose. Um, we can make it better, but just not. Let's not do it the same way as we did before. But make sure every American gets about $1,200 a month. A family of married couple will get about $2,300 a month. Then about $400 per child under the age of 17. Um, then we go then the Medicare protection thing with Obamacare, and make sure everything with the vaccine will be free to free to little cost. But but we got to start somewhere. Now, economics, how we change everything, is with this virus. This virus, I know, is a curse, but it can turn out to be a blessing because it slows down the world economy. Everybody's sitting at home. This is the first time ever in our history, in the world's history, when cars and automobiles, that everything shut down, that the earth started breathing again, and that was the
Hmm.
first time ever that's ever happened. I
Right.
think we need to do it again. And but we have to get all the fossil fuels. There's technology out there. With new technology, there's education. With education, there's jobs. There's jobs. There's new opportunities for exploring and doing more without harming our planet. This is our home. We can't go to Mars without learning how to fix our home.
Okay.
Period. So I will do
So
whatever I have to do with my environmental agencies and to do what it takes without delay. Because it's getting hotter each year,
yeah.
and if we don't do nothing about it, it's going to affect the food supply.
Okay. A lot of factory workers in America are concerned about, where their next meal is gonna come from, and a lot of jobs is going overseas. Do you feel like you need the jobs to go
Yeah.
overseas, or would you try to, save more jobs and bring more over here for the, the ones that's working in the factory, and the ones that, the hard labor workers.
Right. Well, we need them. Back in the '90s and stuff, we had steel, and we used to create everything, and it lasts a hell of a lot longer than what's made in China right now. And we got to buy it 10 times for it equal out to one, right?
Hmm.
So I want to bring all those businesses back, manufacturing, steel, everything back, and that while we're sitting at home, we could build up the infrastructure and everything, have everything set up about time when we have the vaccine ready, and inoculate the population. We'll be getting ready to get back to work. China's gonna sit there like we should never try to cross America because they thought we were dumb. They thought we were divided in such a degree that we'll never recover. No, we woke up in time, hopefully. But yeah, jobs should come back because I mean, look, using the American companies using slave labor in a sense over there, paying them 10 cents an hour, and then charging us a $600 iPhone. Now the question is, will prices go up if businesses come here? They got to pay, regular people 12, 15, 18, $25 an hour. That money's not going to come out their pocket, so that means they're going to come to you, right? So how can I offset that? Well, I have to give tax incentives. Now, Joe, they ain't going to do this. I have to give tax incentives to businesses that come back. But here's the problem. The
Okay.
American people need money too. So I gotta orchestrate some kind of way for the first two years of my presidency to give major tax breaks to um, middle class Americans and poor Americans, and then on my third year I'll give a huge tax break to corporations only if they follow the recommendations in order to get businesses restarted back here in America because of manufacturing and mainly labor. We need our laborers. They're the backbones of this community of our country, and without them, then we're going to be like asking China to help us, even though they have already passed on the virus and stealing our intellectual property and other things that I'm not pleased with. So they're going to have a hard time with me and Russia.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on the Second Amendment? Firearms, because it's a lot of going back and forth with that Second Amendment. Should it be abolished? Should it, stay? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the Second Amendment, to me, I love this Second Amendment. I love it. Let's get the stigmatization of what's happened with bad individuals with guns, okay? Because we get lost with it, just like the message about Black Lives Matter being diluted. Same thing. I believe in the Second Amendment because I believe in the First Amendment. Without my Second Amendment, how my First Amendment going to have any right? When I speak, I got to back up what I'm saying because somebody might threaten me, another nation perhaps, trying to take what I say. Russia don't have that kind of thing we have. Where China can't speak out like that. We can. That's why Second Amendment came second after the first. Um, Now, when it comes to individuals with guns who are abusing their power, not being responsible, and they're shooting mass crowds, trying to still fear into America, because we had one hell of a ride last year and this year.
Yeah.
there's no central way. There's no central way that I can see that you can stop a regular Joe. Give me an example. Let's just say a guy named John. He's been a respectable gun owner for 18 years. Got a family, respecting his community, goes to work, pays his taxes.
Yeah.
One day he comes home early to surprise his wife. All of a sudden he sees his wife cheating on him with another man. The man is irate. He loses his damn mind. He starts shooting up the family, shooting up the neighbors, burning everything down. When people lose hope or go through something that hurt, you cannot fix that. You can try to cushion it. You can try to embrace it. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to children, guns in schools, oh, I got a huge plan for that. Huge plan for that. Why don't we have some of those former soldiers, former Green Berets, former Army personnel who doesn't have jobs, and hire them all over the country for security purposes? You put a little fear out there. I mean, you got to check them out, make sure they ain't gonna go crazy around kids and stuff like that. But right. That'll be a deterrent for those to be, what I'm saying, because they scared to go, with kids going in there with guns anyway. You see a big Army Green Beret or Army Ranger, I think we have a second thought on doing that. But we can make common sense gun laws, but to take our guns, hell no. No.
All right. Okay.
And black people should have the same protections for guns as white people.
I agree totally. Now, 3 more questions for you, and then I'll let you go. I know you got a busy day ahead of you and everything, so I don't want to hold you up for too long.
But all right, don't forget about the one question about the thing, so they can know.
Okay. What or wait? I could ask you right now. You talking about reparations, right?
No, go ahead. How we talked about before, just to start that, and then we're gonna the main story be at the end.
Okay, cool. All right. So, what are some who's your favorite president?
That's a good one. I got favorites on some, quite a few, but the one that stands out to me would be, I like Teddy.
Somebody
because Teddy Roosevelt was a. Yeah, I like Teddy because he said, he told people around the world about America's power, about speak softly but carry a big stick. But overall, my main president that I really love and everything he's done is FDR, and I feel like I would be a black FDR.
Okay.
Because the plans and the ideas that I have to pass laws, like FDR did. He passed 99 laws in the first 100 days of his office. So I would want to do something like that. So I think FDR is my favorite.
And have you chosen a vice president?
I have. I announced it several months ago, but he's kind of difficult to get in contact with. And I figured if my story came out about what happened with the Secret Service and the FBI and everything like that, now I'm not in trouble. It's just you check out landinghamcase.com, you'll see why. That if he see it, he will be more inclined to be my running mate. And his name is John Stewart. He's not on social media, but it's an open invitation for him. And the reason I chose him is because he's funny. He's pretty much balanced. From Republicans like him, Democrats like him, Independents like him. And the one thing that he did for the 9/11 first responders, the families, trying to get that bill passed when Republicans were stalled in Congress. I saw the emotional, triumphant way that he won that for those first responders. And I figured that I need a vice president like a bulldog to help with this race issue. And when it helps with trying to help with this COVID, because with him, he could definitely take over the COVID thing and try to make sense to people, Republicans and Democrats, to make them come together and fight this battle together. And he's smart. And if something happened to me, hopefully if I become president, that he can be ready to step in the moment's notice and can really heal the racial divisions in this country.
Okay. Now, what you were talking about, just so I feel like we on the same page, the topic that you really wanted to discuss, or that's gonna be out about you, or regards to you and Donald Trump, having a little bit of a falling out. I can't really speak on it because I don't know the situation like that. But can you inform the American people?
Right. Yeah. The main reason, America, why you never heard of me, see, because 2 weeks after the midterms, I announced my run for president on Facebook. 12 to 14 days later, I was contacted by an individual by the name of David Van Landingham on Facebook with a picture of Donald Trump. And we had a lengthy discussion for 3 days, Saturday, December 8th, Sunday, December 9th, and the 10th on the third day, December 10th, 2018.
Okay.
The first day, we're just saying, hey, what's up, cuz? How you doing? I want to know more about what your movement about and stuff like that. And it's
Uh
my family movement. And I thought he already would pick that up. But he said he doesn't like Donald Trump. And I'm like, if you don't like Donald Trump, then why do you have Donald Trump as your profile picture? Yeah, I said, there's something ain't right there. So we continue on the conversation. The next day, he's asking me to meet him downtown for a game. He says he's from Cleveland. He says he's from East 131st. I said, wait a minute. There's not rich white people that stay on East 131st in Cleveland. I know that. You know that. Come on. Yeah. So when I felt like something wasn't right, something told me to research and find out where he was at. So finally, I asked him, is this really Trump? And are you trying to find something about me? And the next thing he says is, why are you trying to run for president? What makes you qualified? Did you go to school? What makes you think you could fit in this class? Now, remember my question, America. Is this really Trump? And are you trying to find something about me? Again, he says, why are you running for president? What makes you qualified? Did you go to school? What makes you think you can fit in this class? And I said, yeah, I'm running. And he just went back pretending he was my cousin. So I'm like, wait a minute, that was the second pause. Like, wait a minute, this something ain't right. Yeah. And so the next day come, I'm over my brother's house, and he contacts me and says, I know exactly where you at. You're on 79th and Kinsman. I want you dead and gone. And so I was at my brother's house, so we already called the police and told them what was going on. And we're in the project, so you know how long that takes. So my cousin was the boss sergeant on the 4th District over there on Kinsman. So I went up there, my brother went with me, and all of a sudden we see a Black Hawk military helicopter come down. It was right above the building we were in. And then I texted him, I said, I see you now. And after I texted him, the helicopters came down. So I climbed the tree. My brother's on the other side. 2 cars come around the corner real quick and slowed down. One was a red Dodge 2-door truck and a white 4-door car, all blacked out. And as I was in the tree, and the helicopter was less than the tallest tree in your backyard, and it's quiet, you couldn't even hear it. He says, I'm above you. So I showed that to my brother. We boogered it. We ran to the 14. We got on the 14. He texts me and says, I'm on the 14. And I said, I know you are. I see you in the cameras. He said, yeah, maybe. I said, I know you already. And he says, I will see you real soon. But he didn't think I was going to the police station. So by the time I got off the bus, ran to the police station, I put one foot on the grass, and he texts me and says, oh, I see you called the police. Those are my people as well. So my heart stopped. And I darted into the 4th District, knocked down somebody, officer. I'm so sorry, officer. And got in there, asked for the sergeant. My cousin wasn't there, so I asked for the other sergeant, which he knew me. And he texted me as I took my jacket off. He says, cold day in effing hell for you, my guy. Cold effing day in hell for you. I wish I could take that red hoodie and wrap it around your face. Uh-oh. There's a problem there. How does he know what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
I wasn't live. I didn't go live. I didn't take no picture. Nobody know where I was at. How do you know what I was wearing? So. I showed the sergeant the text message. You go to landinghamcase.com. Landinghamcase.com. You see it for yourself. Start from Saturday and work your way down. The money continues. I showed the sergeant the text message. He said, we ain't got some calls about military helicopters flying in the area you was at. And you're showing me, you just got this, the last text, he was curious. And they said, did you just get this text while you was in the police station? I was like, yeah. Now again, my hoodie is not red, it's black. When I flip it back, the inside part is red. That's what he saw. He tapped into police station cameras and threatened my life. The next day, somebody from the government told Cleveland police that those helicopters were out there to fix power lines. So anybody over there on 79th and Casper, the date in question, December 10, 2018, about 5:30ish in the afternoon. If you're wondering what those helicopters were out there for, they were out there for me. The president of these United States used his military to threaten an African American who is running for president, who has historical ties to George Washington and Robert E. Lee. And he is still blocking me to this day, not sharing my Gmails and information to the news organizations here in Cleveland and out there in New York. Yeah, hell, ABC in New York told me last year that the FBI told them not to take my story. Then 10 months after the incident, the Secret Service came to my house and said the following: Mr. Landingham, we would like for you to do us a favor. I'm like, uh-oh. I already know what this means. They said, once you get on the news, when you get on the news, we only want you to talk about your campaign and what you'll do for this country. But we do not want you to talk about the text messages that the president sent you, nor the helicopters he sent after you. And so I asked him, I said, was it really him? Because my cousin was standing there. And so they just said they couldn't answer because the FBI still investigating. But they didn't say it in lie. They just said, Mr. Landingham, haven't you seen the news about the president recently? I'm looking at my cousin looking at me, I'm looking at them, they look at me. I'm like, that's a question, I'm talking about a question. Just tell me yes or no. Was it really him? And they said it again, like reading a script. Mr. Landingham, haven't you seen the news about the president? The only thing I could think of was the day before they showed up. That's when Trump said that the whistleblower should be shot, talking about the Ukraine call. So America, that is the real reason why you never heard of me. And I've been desperately trying to share this story for the longest. So I'm telling you, if you believe this president is a racist and he will do anything to keep power, I'm telling you, he started the war with the American people with me. And I'm not going to let this president think he's going to find a way to cheat and keep power without the American people know what really happened. Research me, Google me, do whatever you got to do. Ask any question you want to ask. I have nothing to hide. It's time to stop being afraid. I know it seems like it's a lot of throwing at you, but you got to step in there in faith. What else is better than what I'm speaking? What else is more balanced when it comes to race and equality for all people? Joe cannot meet the challenge. Hell, Trump can't. He's not even meant to meet the challenge. He's a puppy of Russia. Not a puppet, a puppy. You know, little puppy. We need a strong, solid leader in the White House. Go ahead.
All right. To the American public, explain to them why they should vote for you.
Well, the main reason why you should vote for me because I am a true outsider. I came straightly from you. I am you. I'm tired just as you are tired. I've been praying just like you've been praying. I want the same things that you want. But these politicians, they smile in your face and say, yeah, we'll do it for you. And sort of bring it up for an amendment, sort of get passed, then come back 4 years later. You put me in the Oval Office, I promise you that I will not rest until everything that I said that I won't change has been changed. Even if it takes, and I'm on term, I'm just thinking about every day is a step. But if we all come together, if we all face our fears together and not be afraid of one another, we can make real change possible and open up avenues for regular people to run for office to make our union more perfect and more strong. If you're looking for a real American revolution, stop voting for the same old, because you're going to get the same thing. I am a write-in candidate. I believe in what our forefathers, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the only way we can get it is from us. And I'm one of you. And I ask for your support.
Yes, guys. You can reach him on his Instagram at Landingham Michael. And I don't have your Facebook. Could you tell the world your Facebook or where they can contact you and or your website and
Yes. Well, you can contact me several ways. You can contact me on my email, which is landingham2020@gmail.com. You can contact me on Facebook, which is Michael D. Landingham. It's like landing a plane and going ham. Or you can go to my campaign Facebook account, which is Landingham for President 2020, the party of we the people. And my phone number is area code 601-513-7615. That's the campaign number. And the website, landinghamcase.com. There's a way where you can ask questions and people will respond.
All right, cool. I would like to thank once again Michael Landingham for joining me. Looking forward to speaking with you soon. Part two to continue the conversation and continue to talk that we so desperately need right now. Like to thank the viewers for watching. Once again, it's your boy JW3 Cloth Talk, and we are.